Welcome to Let Us Farm page. My name is Emily Noel Oge of Let Us Farm. So today we want to learn about how to feed catfishes during Harmattan. This is a question that many people have been sending to me, asking me how do they feed catfishes during Harmattan, knowing fully well that that time the weather would normally drops. So, before we go further, may I use this opportunity to remind you that this is Leros Farm, and all we do here is to try to provide practical solutions to our agri problem. Now, in case you are just seeing me for the first time, all you need to do is subscribe to this channel by clicking on the subscribe button and the notification bell, so that anytime I drop a new video, you will see it. So today, like I said, we'll be discussing about feeding catfishes during Harmattan. It's a source of worry. And on this particular channel, we'll tell you everything you need to know about this. And remember, if you're having any issue in your farm, all you need to do is do a 2 to 3 minutes video and send it to me. When I look at these videos, I'll be able to provide a practical solution to solving this problem for you. I've done that for many people, and many people will still benefit from that. So there's no problem. Just sit back and relax. I'll be right back to discuss this. Welcome back. So, if you understand, catfish lives practically in water. And then during Harmattan, there is a drop in temperature. Now, the southern part of Nigeria and southern part of many countries don't experience Harmattan the way the northern part always do. So the northern part gets very cold. In fact, in some countries, it's freezing cold. When I mean freezing cold, I mean freezing cold. Now, the problem here is that catfishes don't always respond when the weather is freezing cold. And this becomes a source of big challenge to people. From most of our northern brothers, they've been sending me messages that what do they do in Hamatan, especially those who already have fish, and what advice do I have for them? And that's the main reason why I decided to go on with this video, so that we should understand this and at least be at the same page. One thing about knowledge is that it's good to share knowledge so that some people will not be wallowing in ignorance and thinking that something spiritually is wrong when nothing spiritually is actually wrong. So now, feeding catfish in Hamatan could be a little bit tricky. Why do I say it could be tricky? You may be used to feeding your fishes before by 6 a.m. Sorry, excuse me. You may be used to feeding your fishes before by 6 a.m. as a normal weather time. But when it gets to Hamatan, by 6 a.m. in most places, your weather is very cold. Therefore, if you feed your catfishes at that time, they will respond very well. So, if you are staying in the northern part of the country, or even if you are in the southern part of the country and the Harmattan is severe in your place, what you do is don't feed your catfishes that early morning as per 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. No, don't feed your fishes. If you feed them by then, many will be unresponsive, because then most of the fishes will go down the water and try to get a little warmth. So if you are now putting feed on top, they will hardly respond. During the period of Hamatan, the activities of the fish, the body metabolism then is low because of the water condition. So as the water itself is freezing cold for them, it makes them to be a little bit inactive the way they used to be before. That doesn't mean that the fishes will not respond. But what happens is that their activities then reduces. This thing I'm saying now, you may not have heard it before, but that is correct. So what you will do is you now adjust your time. So what you do is, if you have been feeding by 6 a.m. before, now adjust your time depending on your location. If you are in the southern part of the country where the cold is not too much, but there is Harmattan, and if you get to your water pool hand, you see discover that it's cold, adjust it to feed around between the 9 and 11 o'clock. But if you are in the northern part of the country where the Harmattan is severe, you adjust your time to start feeding the morning feed between 11 and 12 in the morning, because then the weather there would be normalizing. You can actually do a test by yourself. When you come early in the morning, go and check the water. Funny thing is that if it is a stream, if it is an earthen pond, in earthen pond, you may not have this problem. Why? In earthen pond, early in the morning, around 7, 8, if you go and test your water then, sometimes your water will be a little bit warm. So if it happens to you, if you are using earthen pond early in the morning, let's say around 7, 8, go and test your water. Just use your hand and put inside the water. If by then the reaction you get from the water is that the water is not that cold, you can go ahead and feed. I don't know whether we'll get this, because this happens that naturally in the morning, the the temperature inside the water, once it's on the earthen pond, the earth itself by that time will be assuming temperature, and this actually changes the water temperature at that early morning. So that's why when you go to the river that early morning time, you discover that the water is a little bit warm. So if this should happen to you and you notice that your own eating pond works like that, then you can still go ahead and feed. But then if it doesn't work like that, then switch your feeding to move between 11 and 12 if you are in the northern part, which is quite colder. And if you are outside the country and in your region it's very very cold, all you need to do is switch your feeding pattern to come between that 11 and 12 o'clock. So then your temperature will not be that cold the way it is as early in the morning. Then when it gets to afternoon feeding, it also same thing. So if, like I said, if you're in the southern part of the country, in the afternoon the weather is normally hot. So what you do is that you can still feed between 3 and 4. There's no problem. But for those people that are used to feeding very late at night because of the job they do, you may have to look for an alternative way to feed before 8, 9 p.m. Because the truth is that most of the time the temperature starts dropping anything from 7, 8, 9. So it means that if you are not used to feeding at night, by this time it may not really work for you, because by that time the temperature will be dropping. And once this temperature drops, it affects the way they eat. I don't know whether I have made sense in this adjustment of time. This is just to make sure that your fishes actually respond. And when you go to feed, you discover that the way they respond, if you change this time, you will discover that they will respond better. Because, like I said, they work with body temperature so much that it affects their feeding, it affects their growth. So I remember it is when they eat that digestion will happen. So if they don't eat, there will be no digestion. So some people may notice that during Harmattan, say, my fishes are not eating well. It is just it is just the temperature. So what you need to do is to go around the temperature to make sure that they actually eat very well. Because don't be deceived that thinking that as they are not eating, they will grow. No, if they don't eat, there will be no growth. What I'm saying is that I've seen people jumping up celebrating that, my fish that was eating 2 bags, all of a sudden is not eating 1 bag. They are celebrating. You don't just know what you are celebrating. You are celebrating your own failure. And this is just an irony of fact. So I want us to get it right so that you understand that when something like this happens, it means that there is problem somewhere that you need to adjust. And once you adjust it, you discover that there will be a shift. They will now start eating well. So if there is anything I have said now that you don't still understand very well, please kindly use the comment section and let me know exactly what you don't understand. But what we are saying in effect is this: during Harmattan time, you need to change your feeding pattern once you have a very, very, very cold weather in your region. But if you don't have that type of cold weather in your region, there is absolutely no problem. Your fishes will still respond. But in case you notice that they are not responding, all you need to do is to push your time of feeding further to when there is sun is coming out gradually. So this will make sure will help in modifying the water temperature from that sub-zero cold to getting a little bit warm, because it is on the better warmer temperature that the fishes will eat better and give you the best result. So if there's anything I have said about this that you simply don't get, please kindly use the comment section, or you can do a 2 to 3 minutes video and send to me. I will be able to respond to you and know exactly how to solve this problem for you. So until I come your way next time, my name is Emelifo Woodwell Oge of Let Us Farm. Keep farming. It's a way of life.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.